So what do we got going here?
Well, if you need help with a certain character or area, I'm the person to try and help you as much as I can.
Good shit. Good shit. You looking to play?
Yeah, we can play one and then we can review it afterwards if you like.
I don't know how valuable your time's gonna be on me, man. I don't want to waste any of it. But I just this season I've been getting into support. I'm Lucio Baptiste, and I started super low because I haven't really been playing support at all. So after my placements, I was at like 18 or something, and
Hmm.
I already so far through playing 15 hours Lucio, 8 Baptiste, I'm in Plat. I'm at 25-45.
Okay, so if you want help with either Lucio or Baptiste, we can play a quick play game and I can try to help you out as much as I can.
Yeah, sure, man. Sounds good.
Cool. Okay,
Five, four, three.
we'll skip this. Okay, so first off, I have to ask, how are you with comms
I do pretty
slash
fine.
competitive? Okay, so comms are probably one of the most important things I would have to say for Overwatch since it does give you so much information on literally everything from whoever's fighting who or what ultimates are being
One.
powered up,
Attackers
whatever.
incoming.
It's always good to have
Cap.
any sort of comms.
Stop the payload.
I
Cool. So you're good with it, then
no, I can ask
we
more
don't have to talk about
on.
that anymore.
So like as a support, as a Baptiste Lucio, like what are some important things that I should be watching for to help my team compared to like what are some things that the tanks and DPS won't have on their mind that I should be watching for because no one else will. If they're
Your counters. If a hero counters you, you should be focused on that hero. If you cannot focus on all six enemy abilities and ultimates, which you can't, the best you could probably do is focus on a couple of ultimates at a time. You should be more focused with your counter because if your counter has certain abilities that can stop you from using your abilities and your ultimate, you want to make sure you're on top of that hero so that your other team can kind of work around that. Because their best option in order to help you out is to learn what the enemy counter to you is doing and
okay,
what they
yeah,
do and don't have. So if they have a Sombra, you need to kind of track her EMP in your head, try and call out translocators. You can even hear her teleport sometimes or uncloak, stuff like that. There's a lot of stuff that you can do in order to try and help your team with that kind of stuff. Sombra, since she pretty much counters everyone, she's horrible for Baptiste because she can get rid of Immortality Field and Window with her EMP. So there's a lot of workaround that you have to be careful of with a Sombra player, especially if they're a good Sombra player. Then you're gonna
what are
have a
the
lot. You're
other
gonna have a
main
hard time.
counters you've ran into
Um,
for Lucio Baptiste? The main focus is
Lucio would Lucio's counters are more of like CC heroes, so like Brig, McCree, anybody who
alright.
can stun Lucio since he's a lot more mobile, and he mainly goes for like those nice boops, the environmental
Yep.
kills off of the sides right here, on this first point especially. You have to be careful of those. People like Doomfist can be a bit rough too for Baptiste and Lucio players since he is very mobile and he can also stun you with his punch essentially. So you have to be very careful for typically Doomfist because he's
Yeah.
still pretty
All right.
powerful in this meta. One thing I will say though is you do have a special. I think it's a passive ability, which is your exo boots. Use them to your advantage. You can sit up on this high ground. You can sit up over here, whatever. It doesn't matter. Use them to your advantage because people like Doomfist, if they can meet you at a ground level, that is an issue for you. If they have to use two of their abilities to get to you, and all you have to do is drop down, that's wasting two of his abilities right away, and you can focus him when he tries to engage you. So you have to be very careful of Doomfist players
Absolutely.
because they suck. And you getting your vertical high ground in order to kind of survey the area a bit more and just be out of danger, that would help out your team a lot. You don't want to be a liability to your team. Don't be the first pick into a team fight because then that's when the team starts to fall apart. Don't be that first pick, especially as a healer. That's very important. So it's good that even though you're not on high ground, you're kind of trying to play this corner a bit. If your Reinhardt or your Orisa is having trouble keeping their shield up, you kind of want to play around this natural environment anyway. Oh, and also after 15 seconds, you can check the other team's team composition. So literally as soon as 15 seconds crosses that threshold, you are going to press the middle button on your PlayStation controller and you can check their entire team comp. If you see that they don't have anybody to one-shot you, you can be a bit aggressive because nobody can instant kill you. The person who can instant kill you is Doomfist, and if you're sitting in the middle and he's punching you from the middle, he's going to have a hard time trying to kill you because he can't push you back that far. So that's really the only instant kill you have to worry about. Yes, Reinhardt is a bit different because he also can do 300 damage, but then again, that's the same thing. You have 4 people in front of you. I don't think he's going to hit you. And also you have exit boots, so you could literally just jump over him if you wanted to. Okay, this is a decent immortality usage, but I would say just be a little bit quicker on your reaction times because as soon as the D.Va was pinned, you were still shooting instead of trying to heal her up. You want to make sure, since you know that pin does 300 damage if it hits a wall, you have to make sure that D.Va does not demech from the pin. If she demechs from the pin, that is a big issue for you because now you're pretty much down a tank. And it's going to be very difficult for the rest of your players to have enough space in order to play because one of your tanks just got steamrolled. So the immortality field is okay just to keep her up, but you probably could have saved it, to be honest, and just have healed her up between those swings. This was okay. You thought I was going to die, which is fine. I just pinned him back, so this honestly isn't your fault. One thing I would say is just remember that your ultimate charges extremely fast. So you can kind of use it
Selfishly?
in non...
More self? More self?
Yeah, you can almost use it selfishly. Because things like Moira's ult and Baptiste's ult charge stupid fast, especially if you have somebody like Lucio who can't heal everybody as fast as you can. You can use it for a lot of situations because it just comes back online so fast. Yeah, so this is where you're going to have to try and help your Lucio out a little bit. If you're afraid or you aren't confident in your abilities to hit him mid-air, since his splash damage is kind of weird, you can use your regenerative healing as well as him using his amp to try and save himself in order to save him or help him out here, because currently he's being dived, and thank God he's pretty good at wall riding, or else he probably wouldn't survive. So yeah, you're helping him, which is good. I would say try to peel as much as possible for your other support, because if you're knocked down a healer, that's a big issue. And if you're Baptiste can solo heal. Don't get me wrong, Baptiste can solo heal, but it's a lot nicer when he has a lot less pressure put on him to strictly heal, since he does so much damage now.
Other support peel. What?
Yeah, peel as in like, hey, I'm being attacked by this Genji or this Doomfist or whoever, and you're sitting up in the front line, and you have your Lucio is on left towards the bridge, you want to try and, if you can go save him, and like, even you don't even have to go over there, since you do have that kind of grenade launcher type deal going on. You could literally just lob a few healing grenades towards him just to try and help him out a little bit as he's trying to come back to you. But yeah, peeling just generally means, hey, this person needs help. I'm going to leave and go help them so they don't die. Typically, diva players or off tanks will do this a lot, since their main job isn't to like hold the space with their shield or take space. Their job is to kind of work for their backline or get some more damage off. So this is good. You're trying to hide in here from the Diva Bomb, which is nice. If you aren't confident that your Reinhardt is going to block this Diva Bomb, you can throw down Immortality Field. But just know, if nobody is going to use it, then it's a wasted Immortality Field. You do have to be careful, though. As soon as that Diva Bomb explodes, you want to get out of this room. Because if he punches you and hits you into the wall, you're pretty much screwed. Good thing he missed, but now he's being pocketed by the Moira. So yeah, you just had to get out of there quick.
Someone's looking out for me.
We'll skip this. So now we're here. What you want to do is keep in mind their ultimates, keep in mind your ultimates. You want to convey to your team, hey, we should probably use this ultimate or two of these ultimates. You don't want to use 5 of them at the same time, obviously. You want to have this sort of balance with ultimates. If they use Mercy's Valkyrie and they use Doomfist's Meteor Strike, you might want to use something like Beat, and that's probably all you should use, honestly, since they have a support ultimate and a DPS ultimate being shot off. Just try to not use both support ultimates at the same time, especially if they can save lives, like Lucio's Beat. Yours can amplify damage, but it can also amplify healing. So helping other supports, like maybe Moira's Orb or just your own healing in general, that could turn around something real quick. So yeah, like you said earlier, you could use this amplification matrix selfishly. You could literally just place it in front of you. Like, you could be up on this high ground right now, kind of just poking damage at them, and once they kind of come up towards this area, if you don't have us right here on this this little area right here, you could just drop down behind us, throw you could throw a window right here in front of you, and as we're pushing in to fight them, you could just throw healing at us the entire time we're fighting. And that would help out a bunch. This is the final Immortality Field. Yeah, so now is when you would, yep, actually perfect. Good, good. So at this point, I would say back up. You are in the middle of everyone, and you don't want that to happen. You're almost like a Zen player, where you kind of want to play more so in the backline, but you have the mobility to be on high ground. If you can take that high ground and you can be in the backline at the same time, you pretty much will never be touched, unless they have like a Widow or something. That's when you kind of want to play a little bit smarter, because you just got punched, which was rough. So as soon as you see this go down, what I want you to do is, as soon as you see this red, throw a Mortality Field. One thing you don't want to do is you don't want to throw Immortality Field right where he's going to Meteor Strike, because if you throw it in the middle of his Meteor Strike, it's going to be destroyed instantly. If you throw it on this side over here, it'll still have around 100 to 150 HP, because his Meteor Strike, I'm pretty sure, does 200 damage instantly, and your Immortality Field just got nerfed recently to 200 HP. So him coming down like this, trying to kill you, is going to suck if you just wasted Immortality Field on the middle of his Meteor Strike.
No jump.
And then you get poke damage by the Moira.
Someone's looking out for me.
Let's just skip this. We're stalling. Okay, so this is good. Like I said, though, high ground. She will have to either chase you or try to focus you instead of me. Or if she focuses me, you could literally just heal me, you know, constantly. She's going to be completely annoyed because she can't kill me. Everybody else is currently respawning, so we should all be trying to back up. One thing that I did like you did was you immediately just, hey, the Genji's low, I'm going to throw one grenade at him. I know he's not going to die because he is at that threshold where nobody can kill him instantly since everybody's right up here. You don't have to heal everybody up to full. You can heal somebody maybe a little bit more than halfway and know they won't die, then that's good enough. You don't have to heal everybody up to full as a support player. Because if you're focusing on me constantly, and then the Genji is at 50 health, and you're still trying to heal me up to full, and then Genji dies. Oh, dude, why didn't I healing? Hello, healing, hello. You're like, well, that sucks. Very good, very good. So now you have another window, which is good. Trying to spray on that shield.
I don't use these boots once.
Well, that's what we're here for, you know? Trying to learn you this stuff. So right here, you could use window a bit offensively. One thing that I would note is know who can use it if you put it down. So right now, Reinhardt could use his Fire Strike to get a 200 damage Fire Strike off. Diva can't really use it all that much. Lucio, meh. You could use it. Genji's going to be flanking, and Sombra's going to be flanking. So if you were to put this down right now, that wouldn't really be great. Reinhardt might get a lucky Fire Strike off, but just know that based on your team comp, that's how you should use your Matrix. So, like, obviously, if you have two flankers, you're probably going to be a little bit more prone to a healing Matrix versus an offensive Matrix. Or, like, if you have a Sigma and a Reinhardt, offensive Matrix versus a defensive Matrix, stuff like that. Yeah, so that's just, don't be in the middle of the fight, like we explained earlier. So we pop that. I don't think we get any kills off on that, which sucks because he was just focusing tanks. And now Lucio is solo healing, dies. Now we just have to try to regroup. So one thing you can do is with these immortality fields, what I want you to try to do is place them in spots where the enemy team cannot destroy them. So what I mean by that is you don't want to place your immortality field, especially if you're around a corner, you don't want to place it right here to where it's just going to be right here and they can just spam it down. What I want you to do is I want you to put it here, where it'll be here and they can't destroy it unless they physically walk in front of us and try to destroy it.
Yeah.
But you do have to be aware that the immortality field is LOS, line of sight. So if somebody can't see it, they won't be immortal. They can't use it. You can use it if it's here and you're here, but if you're here, it can't be used. So it's good if you put it in these sort of spots, but just know who's going to benefit from it.
Yep. Okay.
Got you good as new.
Oh, also, if you can't heal someone, kind of call that out. Because I know, personally, I play a lot of Ana, and it's very difficult as an Ana player when the enemy Reinhardt is complaining about his healing, or the enemy Winston is, not the enemy Winston, sorry, my Winston or my Reinhardt is complaining about healing, yet I can't see him, or he's behind a shield. Hey, could you walk to the right about 5 steps, then I'll heal you. Easy as that. That sort of communication can help out a lot. Yeah, if she's going for the health pack, it's good to throw a few grenades just in case somebody's trying to meet her there. You tried your best, it's okay. Because she got it, so whatever. I like that. You saw an opportunity, you were like, hey, that's a pretty good shatter, let me... Oh, wait, we got 2-3 picks, we don't need it. It's very good to be constantly looking at that, at the screen, seeing, hey, Widow just killed 2 people, their Moira is respawning, we don't need any more ultimates.
Thank you.
You're fully healed.
Okay, we're kind of just poking at this point.
I was trying to analyze our positioning here. And I was like, yeah, I guess this is the joke.
Let them up.
Alright, yeah, this is good. The one issue is, like I said, positioning. They had 2 options. They could either go forward or they could go into the house. And they decided to go into the house and pretty much try and kill us from there. So, that sucks. But what are you gonna do? This isn't bad. Typically, I wouldn't say typically, but what a lot of players don't know is that trying to dodge Doomfist's ult is very easy if you can get like a pillar or one of these smaller areas of natural cover, because you can kind of just sit and move from left to right, because you can hear the ultimate. And if you can hear it and you know it's going to be on top of you, if you see that red circle, all you have to do is just bam, does no damage. Oh, it's over here, bam, does no damage. Just use this natural cover, these small skinny little areas, to try and dodge it. That'll help you out with trying to negate his ult as much as possible. Or you just jump over it. That works too. Yeah, that's a bit rough. I would say you used Immortality Field because you saw the critical health. You were like, oh shoot, I need to save their lives.
And then he charged you back. That's
Yeah.
where I was saying during the game, that's where I mentioned I could have saved both of our lives if I would have used my immortality right there. If I
Yeah.
would have waited till he charged and then tossed it to our left, and then we would have had a 2v1 on him.
It's not so much like, obviously you could have done something. You could have done something better. Everybody can in any game could do something better. The issue with this is that your best bet was to throw Immortality Field to the wall, but then again, you wouldn't have known that because he charged, and when he charged, it was a pretty quick charge. He wasn't a very long distance from the wall. Even if you did throw Immortality over there, we probably still would have lost, since we were already, I think we were already down.
Yeah.
Oh no, I guess we were just down our Genji, and we're using sights here. But they did use the Meteor Strike. They used Moira ult earlier, and they're using Valk. So honestly, I would say that you tried your best. The Immortality Field sucked, yes, but I don't think there was a lot of room to say you could have done something else because we were losing from the start. So your intention's good. You could have done something, yes, but I don't think there was much room to maneuver besides just, hey, you know, you saw somebody was low. I wouldn't say that If you see that multiple people are low, that's a good time to use Immortality Field. But also know that if they are not in immediate danger to die, try to save your Immortality Field for certain ultimates and situations where you know they are going to die. If you can heal them up when they are at critical health, you always want to make sure, hey, will I heal this person up? And if I do that, will they survive or will they die? Do I need to put this down? Because your Immortality Field is on a 20-second cooldown. That is a long time. So you have to use this to its full potential or else it will ultimately be useless.
The payload has reached the checkpoint.
Yeah, so right now it's good that you're kind of playing back here. You want to kind of stick to this long range, so either your tanks can take the front force of the Doomfist punch, or if somebody tries to flank left, you won't be the first person to be targeted. So playing kind of back towards that choke is a better idea. Okay, so yes, you could have Immortality Field. As soon as you see that stick, you're going to want to throw it immediately towards the ground. But also one thing to know is that as soon as a Zarya grabs, one thing you do not have to do, you do not have to put Immortality Field down the entire time. Same thing with a Lucio beat. If you have beat as a Lucio, that if Zarya presses triangle, you do not have to press triangle unless you know your team is going to get a team wipe or die. Same thing with Immortality Field. If you know your team is going to die, then use Immortality Field. If you can out heal, or you know that nothing is threatening towards you, then don't worry about it. Just literally look at the ground and heal as much as you can. Skip this. Waiting for the team to regroup. That's very good. Trying to get some poke damage. Just be careful of their DPS because he goes to kill you, misses. Hits his other two abilities, you heal through it. Good, good. Man, don't you hate it when you're trying to heal the Genji, but he just keeps frickin' jumping, and you're like,
Flipping
dude, just
around.
stand still. I want to heal you.
Yeah. I've shot where you were 3 times now.
Yeah, imagine trying to heal him as an Ana player. That's even worse. You're literally a sniper trying to snipe him in midair. You're like, dude, just stand still already. Okay, this is fine. Just trying to heal everybody up. I do notice that you try to do a lot of damage as well, but while you are DPSing, you walk forward in front of everybody and kind of just try to take the fight to them. You do have a lot of damage potential, but you are still a healer. So just remember that. Because once you get into higher elos, stuff like that will be punished immediately. You get stunned, you get fan the hammered, and you're dead for the next 20 seconds until you regroup.
I'm on fire.
And the Winston's on fire. So now you have a Doomfist. Oh, yes. And also, after a team fight is done, everybody's dead, everybody's regrouping, press the middle button on your PS4 again just to check team comps, because if they try to switch to counter someone, you want to make note of that as soon as possible. Oh, they swapped off of Ball to Zarya to counter the Junkrat. They swapped off of Doomfist to McCree to counter our Doomfist, you know? Stuff like that is always good to know so that the person playing that hero that's being countered can try to work around that as much as possible. I see what you're trying to do here. You do not have to do it because you could literally just walk forward and try to shoot them because you are not at the risk of being one-shot by anyone. Even Doomfist, because if Doomfist was here in this main area and is trying to punch you, he can't kill you from up here. Even if you punch from up here, I'm pretty sure he can't kill you, because the best spot he would have is here, and he has to punch from like over here. So you're fine by sitting up over there.
Yeah. So you saw what I was doing before.
Yeah.
And
You
I
thought
saw
I
two
was pinned.
cards. Yeah.
So that's
I
not.
was trying to make up for the last choke where I fucked
Yeah.
up.
That's fine. If you thought I was being pinned, that I see your thought process. Not a big deal. It's the intention that matters.
Yeah. We'll see if I need it in the next 15 seconds.
Yeah. So I will say one thing though. Even if he did pin me, just remember his pin 300 damage. You can out heal that, especially if he's the only one charging in. If he's charging in and his team is not following him, and all of our team is grouped up to where he was pinning me, you could just out heal it and everybody else could just kill him.
Okay.
Very lucky there.
Yeah.
The Tracer could have easily killed you. There she is again. So we had talked about this earlier. Sitting here, not the best idea. Sitting somewhere over here would be a little bit better, especially because of the Doomfist. We talked about that earlier, not a big deal. We go all the way back.
It's not over yet.
60 seconds remaining.
Oh yeah, and if you ever get like nervous or discouraged or just get tilted, any sort of thing, because people are yelling at you for heals, don't worry about that stuff. There's plenty of people, especially in Plat, who will complain and whine and cry because they're not getting healed. You can't pocket everyone. They're going to whine and cry and stay in Plat till they die. I have seen level 50 millions be hard stuck Plat, and they're like seriously, you've been playing this game for 1,500 hours and you're still Plat. Those people don't want to change. Those people are the people who tilt, whine, and complain. If those people are complaining about healing, just do your best. You can honestly just mute them. If you think it's going to get into your head, just mute them. It's not worth it. I've just, like, if I was starting to get a little angry or people were making me angry, what I would try to do is just put on some music for a game or two. It doesn't even have to be competitive. Just either take a break if you feel like you need a break, or try to just put on some music and just lay back for a little bit. You want to try and keep the tilting to a minimum as much as possible.
The payload is approaching its destination.
Let them up.
Okay, so one thing I will say is you know how to turn his window, right?
Is it R1?
No. It's not the same as Maywall. I know, weird. It's if you press triangle and then press triangle again, it moves the wall vertical towards you. It flips it. It's the same thing with
same thought process as
Yeah.
the Maywall.
It's the same thing with Sims Ultimate. Sims Ultimate does the same thing. If you press triangle twice, it'll put it in front of you instead of flat across.
I play May. I do not play Sim.
Yeah, you think they would make it so that R1 would flip it, but no, they make it triangle. So, I mean, that's good. It's a good immortality field. It blocks so much damage.
30 seconds.
I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
you saved 20 lives there because we probably could have died 30 times over. So, yeah, it was a good use of immortality field. But yeah, on this last choke, you don't have to... Your job isn't to stall, per se, because you are a Baptiste. Yes, you do want to throw that on the cart just so people can stay alive, but you do not have to jump down and try to stall. Unless you are the last person, if that's who's all left, then go stall. but you want to stay more towards the high ground over here, so Doomfist can't punch you, and you can heal from afar without being killed.
Yep, I've gotten good at that for King's Row. King's Row has a great perch at the very end if my team's being pushed, and I'm
Yes.
Baptiste.
King's Row
That's
is
where-
just one of those great maps that everybody loves. Has a lot of high ground.
Oh,
Yeah, so you got Doomfist ulted, but like I said, if you're on that perch, it's a lot easier to try and help out your team from there. So it's overtime. You want to pick you typically want to pick a stall hero like Lucio or Moira to try and get out there a lot quicker, so you can see if you can waste the time as much as possible. Baptiste is nice with his immortality field, but if you have to get there quick, choose Moira or Lucio. Right now you're just in the middle of it and you're like, I'm pressing L2 as much as possible.
yeah. I
That's
was
pretty much
hoping-
the
I
thought
was
process
hoping-
is like, oh god, I need to heal everyone.
Yeah. And
Because
then I
you'll-
do end up switching to Moira.
Yes, you do end up switching.
Not getting out there.
But the issue is we have half an hour to spawn. But yeah, this was a good game. Your healing is fine. You don't DPS to the point where you feed, but you do DPS to the point where you're like, hey guys, I'm the front line. And they're like, oh, okay. They're kind of intimidated by you in this match, which is really dumb because they could have killed you easily. So just know, use your exo boots a lot more. That'll help you out with getting out of situations and just in situations where they can't kill you unless they have a sniper. Immortality fields were okay for the most part. Healing was pretty good.
You helped me a lot on. I'm glad they ran a Doomfist for that.
Yeah, that was good. People like that are... It's a bit harder to try and compare stuff like that, especially when they don't have somebody who can counter you, because then it's like, oh, well, this guy can counter you, and then you're like, huh, I wonder how that works out. And then you have more questions for when that does happen. But, yeah, your healing's fine. Don't try to frontline DPS as much as you were doing. High ground with your boots, and I think that's mainly it. If you do need to ask any more questions or want to look back at this is going to go up on my YouTube channel tomorrow, I think. It's the same thing as my PSN name, so if you have any questions, just throw it in the comment of that video, and I'll try to help you out as much as possible.
All right, perfect. Thanks so much for the help, man.
Yeah, no problem. Good luck on the grind, and I hope this will help you climb as much as it can.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you do this often for people?
Yeah, typically weekly. I have
Okay.
stuff in the videos that'll help people try to put in a VOD or two, whatever can help.
Well, if you if you've already done a Baptiste before, I'm sorry, but if
No,
not,
I
I'm
have
sure you
not.
will.
I have not done a Baptiste, which is nice. So,
Perfect. Well, if you're trying to do Lucio sometime, that's my other support. I would love to run through that.
sounds good.
All right, man.
See you
Appreciate
later.
it.
You have no problem.